I'll tell you now, people are finding me from I don't even know where. And most of the people who call me are saying, I Googled this or that and I found you on Google. And I know that's because of the videos. And lots of my patients have watched my videos on YouTube, beautiful videos, beautiful branding. My goal is to help my patients get control over their own health. And what you've done for me is help me to get control over my marketing.
There are people in your life that you meet and you will always remember because of their passion and how awesome they are. And this is my guest today. She's absolutely amazing. She is a one-of-a-kind, very good person, amazing healthcare practitioner who brings natural health solutions to the world with her own spin on it and with her own resources. And I just have never met anybody who is exactly the same when it comes to the vibe, when it comes to the clinical expertise. And I'm so proud to call her one of our clients. So today we're going to do a client interview feature. And I wanted you to focus on not only how polish your business and our team, how we are helping her with the things that are being done, but also focus on what does it mean to people? What does it mean to integrative healthcare that we promote? Because imagine, and I don't know, maybe you are a healthcare provider yourself, maybe she's exactly the provider that you need to collaborate with. Or if you're an individual, maybe she's exactly the provider that you were looking for. Whether you are here in Maryland or you're somewhere else and you would like to do a remote consultation, please keep her in mind as she's helping me with this interview. I want to make sure that this interview also gives her value. She's absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to share her story with you. Who is with us today? Dr. Lisa Gordon. Dr. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you, Mike.
And tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about your practice and what's important to you.
I'm a chiropractor. I'm a licensed chiropractor for 36 years. I practice in the state of Maryland, and I also do holistic nutrition and functional nutrition. Somebody called me the other day a naturist, which sounded funny to me in the beginning, but then when she explained what she meant, it really made sense to me. I use natural methods because I know that bodies can heal themselves, human bodies can heal themselves if they're given the correct information and they have the correct input and environment. So that means structurally, are their bodies in alignment? Are all their joints in alignment? Their spines in alignment? Their cranium in alignment? And nutritionally, are their cells getting what they need? Are their organs getting what they need? And I have methods to figure all of these things out and have conversations with bodies so that I'm able to figure things out sometimes even before they show up on lab tests. So I always tell my patients who tell me, oh, but that didn't show up on my lab test. And if I'm finding it with the methods that I use, I always tell them something has to be bad enough to show up on a lab test in order to show up on a lab test. So we don't see the process on labs what I mean is blood tests, visualization techniques like X-rays and MRIs and so on. We don't see the process. We see the end result on those tests. So wouldn't it be nice to figure things out before it's even bad enough to show up on those things, and to keep the body in balance so that symptoms never arise, or if they do arise, we can help heal them in a natural way.
Wow. And this is so powerful. Prevention. We talk about it all the time, and we usually talk about it when it's a little bit too late. Say, I wish I could prevent it. I could have prevented this. I wish I could have done it. I wish I knew. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about what exactly is she doing, if you could list maybe 3, 4, 5 different therapies that people need to know that you have, and also share with people where you are located, your physical location.
Yeah, I'm in Columbia, Maryland, and my address is I'm on Shaker Drive in Columbia, Maryland, at the Natural Health Improvement Center of Columbia, Maryland. I use chiropractic as the same kinds of ways that people are used to it. I do the pops and the cracks and so on. And I also use much more gentle techniques that are quite rare. I use a technique called assisted self-alignment protocol, and there are only 7 people in the world doing that. And I actually happen to be the first and so far only woman using that technique. And it's so gentle that I can use it on people who are even vulnerable people. So I'm getting amazing results with it. And it's very, very gentle. There are no pops, no cracks. The person doesn't even have to lie down. We do it sitting. And it seems like I'm doing nothing. It's that gentle. And it's extremely powerful because it uses the person's own energy instead of my energy to correct imbalances in the body. And just as I said, the body knows everything about itself. And so why don't we use that brilliance of our innate intelligence to access the healing properties of the body? And pain goes away. And it's quite amazing. And then organs function better and so on. So I do various kinds of chiropractic techniques. I have lots of different things. Applied kinesiology, I use a lot of muscle testing for various things. For everything really. I always joke and say that that's my second language. Muscle testing is my second language. So I really have conversations with bodies about it. And it sounds a little funny, but I know it works. And the people who come to me, even if they think it sounds a little funny in the beginning, they understand once I explain it to them. It's not esoteric in the slightest. It's very physically oriented. So that's one thing I do. And the other really powerful thing that I do is called nutrition response testing. And so we can find out if there's something that's blocking the body from healing and in what order the organs need to be handled. So it's a little bit like I'm checking all the organs and I'm checking to see if they're tired, essentially, and which one needs to be handled first. So if, for instance, somebody has a thyroid issue, I'm one of those people. I was giving myself lots and lots of thyroid supplements, but it wasn't doing anything to change my situation and the health of my thyroid. And with nutrition response testing, I was able to find out that, with a practitioner's help, of course, that in my case, my adrenals were underlying the thyroid problem. And so I needed to really support my adrenals so my thyroid could get better. Is that the case for everybody? Not at all. It could be a pituitary situation. It could be their liver that needs to be handled first. It could be their gallbladder. It could be any other organ. So everybody is very individual. And it's so useful and satisfying to see the results when we handle things in the person's body the way the body can understand it and the way the body needs to have it handled. And then the other thing that I do is advanced allergy therapeutics. So some people just really need to have some support during the spring when their allergies are kicking up, and otherwise they're pretty healthy. So that's another technique that I use to help people non-invasively handle allergies, whether it's environmental allergies, whether they want to keep their cat or their dog, or whether they might have been exposed to mold and now every time they're near mold or dust or something like that, they sneeze, and various other allergic or sensitivity symptoms, foods too.
And so many people have very complex problems that look
Yes.
like they are simple problems. So it's like, hey, I'm just,
Yeah.
I have this rash, right? Or I have this, or
Well,
I have that, or I have
right.
pain here. And always when we start digging deeper, we start realizing that there is this cause and effect. And sometimes even the cause and effect has a one or two or three layers deeper. And I am just so fascinated by this type of approach to healthcare, and also seeing how it is easy in the standard healthcare models to just look at the cause and effect, or just effect and treatment, right? So talking about
Mhm.
symptoms pills, symptoms medication, which sometimes is needed, yes, and we do need to feel better. But now, okay, how about we look at the cause? But now the cause of that, maybe there's something underneath that
Yes.
is actually causing that. So you can imagine right now, I wanted to come back to how am I feeling in a situation where we start our relationship, professional relationship together with Dr. Lisa. And I know, even though I didn't know even half of what I know now, and I probably know a fraction of what she knows, And now I know back then that there is this very different approach, so powerful. How do we communicate that approach to people to make sure that they actually understand what is it that Dr. Lisa actually is doing? Because words like chiropractic or holistic health practice, it means a lot of things to a lot of people, but it doesn't actually describe Dr. Lisa, right? So imagine I was referred, or she was referred to me by another amazing doctor, right? And now say, hey, maybe you should connect and figure out something together to help her with marketing. And now I'm thinking about, okay, now let's go to the basics. Okay, what is the value that we want to show people? And the value is unbelievable. So now, what is important for Dr. Lisa? How do we want to communicate it? And I wanted to ask you, Dr. Lisa, as we are meeting, I know you also work with multiple different companies. What was your experience kind of like before we met and that immediate moment? Because somebody watching right now could be a healthcare provider themselves, and they're like, yeah, I already have some people that I'm working with, right? And I don't know if I need an extra hand or somebody to oversee or team up with them. I don't know if I need somebody to replace some of them. I don't know. So share your experience, how you felt before you knew what you know now. I would be very curious to hear it from you.
So I've known you for a long time, and I kind of watched you over the years develop Polish Your Business. And so I know you from way before. And so I already had a little bit of a relationship with you and trust in you, although I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I didn't know how to spend my marketing dollars. I had spent it on this and that and a Val pack and another company and something that was going to get me reviews, and none of it brought me anything, Mike, nothing. Literally. I also tried to do YouTube on my own. So I was giving classes and I had throw the videos up onto YouTube, and I think they're still there, and they're kind of valuable. I think it's interesting to go back and look at them, but there were virtually no views on it. There was nothing because I didn't know how to do the back office stuff. I had no idea how about SEO. I didn't know anything that you know. And so I took the leap and I decided, well, I know Mike. I like Mike. I trust Mike. Other people I know trust Mike, and he's doing a good job for them. So I'm going to just take the leap. And in the beginning, I went in with a pretty significant package with you. And I was, to be frank, I was a little discouraged in the beginning, but you really held my hand and you told me, Dr. Lisa, it's going to take some time. Just trust the process. He said, give it a year. You said, give it a year. So I gave it a year. And then toward the end of that year, I was starting to see, and you kept telling me more views, more views. And I didn't really see the difference in my practice yet. But I'll tell you now, people are finding me from I don't even know where. And most of the people who call me are saying, oh, I Googled you. I Googled this or that, and I found you on Google. And I know that's because of the videos. And lots of my patients have watched my videos on YouTube that you have created, you and your staff have created beautiful videos, beautiful branding. And they're fast and they're so perfect. And lots of people watch them, and literally from around the world. I got an email from someone from Canada yesterday. I don't know who this person is. She's desperate for healthcare, and so I'm going to call her and see if I can help her, how I can help her. I'm delighted. Sometimes I just tell them, go watch this video. I have had people from India call me. I have and they say I've got acid reflux so badly, so I can refer them to my video. Can I get my hands on them and treat them? No, but at least they'll get some information that could definitely help them by way of these videos. And I believe that my practice has truly grown because of the work we've done together, despite the fact that it has taken some time. So my marketing now includes Polish Your Business, and what you tell me to do, I do. Well, I'm not the best at it, but I do a lot of what you do. What you tell me to do. Some of it is there's so much that you offer. I feel like I can't necessarily do all of it, nor do I really understand all of it. And you keep repeating things, and eventually you come back and you hold my hand through everything, and whatever we're doing, it's working. And I have one networking group that I go to. And that's all of my marketing, essentially.
How much simpler is it comparing
Yeah.
to working with so many companies before, right?
That I really didn't have a good feeling about, and I really didn't get anything out of. I tried it. Did I try it long enough? Maybe not. But I just love the value that you provide. I love the videos. I'll have those forever.
That's, big. It's a really big point in my communication with clients, especially at the beginning, because certain things, it's a very different approach to marketing. So if 99% of all marketers are right here, and then 1% is going to be people with a similar approach to polish your business, it's sometimes extremely hard to communicate the value, like you mentioned, that you love the value before we get started, because and that's why I appreciate a video like this that shows a snapshot a couple of years after, when right now we are on a maintenance, much smaller package that I just ask about the amount, and we basically tailor the package to the budget. We make it super easy. But now the power of momentum from what we have created, and also being able to take that, and instead of just letting it fade, we actually resuscitate it on a consistent basis, and we give it to people, and then we link to some of the videos that we are repurposing, etc. That matters. So from my perspective, the challenge is always the following: how do I explain that the results long term is going to work, and how is that going to help the business owner long term, with their risk management in mind? So the way that I'm looking at it, and you mentioned one point that is very important here: I keep all this stuff, right? So people invest in marketing. Let's compare it to what 99% of marketing companies in general are going to do. It's like they're going to say you need ads, right? So now when it comes to ads, I see it as almost like building a skyscraper on a toothpick, right? So we build it, and then you're investing sometimes substantial amounts per month or per week or per campaign, and then the only thing that stays with you is the patients that you were able to capture, the leads and patients and their referrals. But if it wasn't so effective, actually nothing stays with you, and the next campaign starts, and guess what? Here we go again. Now we build floor 1, floor 2, and then you're building that skyscraper again on a toothpick. Boom! If it breaks, everything goes back. And that's why a lot of healthcare providers get frustrated with this. The second layer, so what we do comparing to this, is we like to build a foundation that stays with you, foundation that is rooted in your brand. So what is your brand about? What is your message? What is it that you're actually doing? Explaining it to people. Now, after the foundation, we have a lobby of that skyscraper. So, okay, what do people see when they maybe visit your YouTube channel, maybe visit your website, maybe visit your Google My Business, different rooms that you're in? What do they see? That's our lobby. And then we take this elevator, and then we start building and stacking on top of it. But the beauty of this is, hypothetically, if Polish Mike went crazy one day and just said, you know what, I'm just not working with clients anymore, and I was just going to do, something different, everything that we have produced for Dr. Lisa stays with Dr. Lisa. And also the strategic tweaks and advice and SEO, and it keeps working for you. So I just wanted people to understand that 99% of people do marketing a little bit differently, and sometimes they look at our stuff and say, hey, that's a mistake, because there was not enough call to actions, right? So now you imagine yourself watching a video, and from your perspective, how much do you like these videos that end with like, call us because we are the best, here's the number, here's the link, you got to follow us, you got to subscribe? With that salesy vibe comes a little bit of or if not a lot of disconnect with a healthcare provider's mindset, because the healthcare provider says, I just want to show people what I'm doing. I don't want to be the salesy guy or woman or man or doctor that people see online just pushing and pushing and pushing to get another sale. So I wanted people to understand watching this, that our approach, sometimes you look at Dr. Lisa's video and you will say, Dr. Lisa, Ed, when I look at Dr. Lisa Gordon on YouTube, so go to just put Dr. Lisa Gordon, and let's say put acid reflux, right? Or put nutrition response testing, and you will see a video. And in that video, you won't see call me tomorrow, I'm the best. You won't see that. And yet the video keeps growing and keeps bringing patients. So I just wanted
Mhm.
people to understand that the approach is very different. It's meant to be long term. And we do focus on bringing value as immediately as possible. But at the beginning, the ROI is a little bit of negative because you're investing money out. The money doesn't necessarily come back in right now. But
Yeah.
a few months in, it's changing. I wanted to ask you about one specific problem that I know you had before, that a lot of people also have, which is people didn't really understand what you do, and they were coming in saying like, "Hey, I want this, I want to pay my copay and get my adjustment, right?" And you're like, "That's not what I'm doing, Mike." It's like, and I'm getting people who are a little bit different. Let's talk about that. How much more people understand your value and the
Yeah.
quality of these conversations that you have now.
Well, the fact that I can send somebody to a video instead of explaining it over and over and over again to people is so valuable to me in terms of my time. Mostly it has to do with their understanding. And I heard you saying something in what you were just talking about, and I really related it to what I do as a healthcare provider because my goal is to help my patients get control over their own health. And what you've done for me is help me to get control over my marketing. I don't have to worry about it. Am I continuing to have you help me? Yes. Will my patients come in as maintenance patients? Yes. Will they, though, have learned an enormous amount about how to take care of themselves? Yes. That's the thing. And with you, I've learned things that you don't even know I've learned from you.
Tell me one, please.
Your communication skills, Mike, and your ability to keep such a positive spin on everything. And it really is who you are. I know you, and I know that you really are that guy who just can somehow turn everything into an opportunity. And you communicate that beautifully. You communicate it through the videos that we do together. You communicate it with every conversation that you and I have together. And just the fact I feel so supported by you because you're not just there to do your business. You are doing the business that you're doing because you truly believe in it. And I think that if somebody came to you and it wasn't in alignment with who you are and what you are all about in terms of promoting natural health care and good health in people, I don't know that you would take them on as a client. And I trust you for that. I trust that the people that you refer to me are people that I can trust because you trust them. In fact, I just got my dentist through you. And I've been looking for years for a good dentist. And now I have one because I know that you referred me to a good dentist. And now I have a dentist that I can refer to. So I don't know. I trust you. Your communication, I've learned so much from you about how to think about things, how to communicate with people. And you don't even know those things. It's not just the marketing. It's who you are as a person that
Wow.
I've learned so much from.
Thank you so much. This means a lot because there is intention, there is attention, there is the
Yeah.
message that goes
Yeah.
out, and I always want for people to know my intentions are great and they're truly the best. I want to give you enough attention as much as you want because attention also requires some time, right? So I don't want
Mhm.
to call you every day when you are busy
Mhm.
managing your practice, but I want to give you enough attention, as much as you need. So being with that sense of urgency that when you text me that something is important for you to be there for you. And
You've done it on vacation. You've been on vacation and I've asked you a question and you've answered it to me. I don't expect that. I think you should be able to take a vacation. But at
it's
the
it
same time, one of the things that's really different about you, Mike, is that all these people come and say, "Oh, I'm your representative and I'm going to be the person that's going to be in close contact." They never have been before. Never. And with you, I know that you are, and you're the owner of the company. It's not like you just hire somebody off the street that you then pay to have to carry on your intention. It's you. I get to talk with you on a regular basis, and it means a lot to me.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, you're gonna have me tearing up in a second. So, um,
I'm kind of good for that. Somebody said to me one time when in my office, "Does everybody who comes in here need to cry?" And because a lot of people do, a lot of people feel heard for the first time in my office.
yeah, you are a great communicator. So hearing something like this from somebody who communicates very well, that I can
Thank you.
support communication on the other side when I thought that I'm learning from you. It's fascinating, interesting, and it just feels awesome. So let's talk about that, if you don't mind, about the integrative healthcare component, because we talk about, yes, we have a team, and at the same time, our strategic conversations are together with me, and I want to make sure that I understand what is it that you want, your priorities and objectives, and then we communicate it to our team to execute, and they have been great. What I wanted to ask you is that integrative healthcare component. So we promote integrative healthcare because it's important. There is no one provider that knows it all. Even if they're Dr. Lisa Gordon, you are amazing and nobody is like you. At the same time, sometimes, like you mentioned, sometimes I
Oh,
want to
sure.
refer to somebody else. Sometimes I want to team up with somebody else. And some people just don't have the same mindset. So the fact that you have that integrative healthcare mindset is very good. And I wanted to ask you about your when we talk about the value that we give to a potential new client, right? How do you feel about the value of having this doctors networking group and the collaborative opportunities in case you need to connect with someone?
I really like it, Mike, because as I said, you have vetted these people. You know them. And so it's like getting a qualified referral. It is getting a qualified referral. If I want to refer to somebody, I know there are people in this integrative network that you have created, and I can always ask you for referral, and I really appreciate that.
Super, thank you. And I wanted also people to know what type of services we are currently doing for you. And that changes because maybe somebody's going to watch this video or listen to this, 3 years
Yeah.
later, that may be completely different. And right now we are transitioning to using more and more of AI supported processes. So it may be very, very different than what we have right now. Currently, we have videos that have been created that communicate the value that Dr. Lisa provides and her practice provides to people. And you can find them on Dr. Lisa Gordon YouTube channels, Natural Health Improvement Center of Columbia, MD. You will see the channel, you will see some videos have tremendous amount of views. And before, that's another thing that I want to also bring to people's attention, because maybe it's you watching, you're producing videos on YouTube and you're like, how is that having 12 views or 2 views or 3 views? And it's so frustrating because people put a lot of work in these videos, and you have as well, and then there was no strategy or no apparent strategy behind it, right? So right now the channel looks different and it also feels different. It has playlists, it has videos. One of the value pieces is time saving benefit, because like you mentioned, you can send it to people and now they're going to understand something that otherwise you would have to explain to people. But also a lot of people have an opportunity to watch these videos even before they come and see you. And then when you have a conversation with them, it's not only saving time, but it's also understanding if there is the right fit. So let's talk about the quality, because people complain in marketing, it's pretty much everybody is focusing on the quality of people that I'm going to talk to. They talk about quality of leads, quality of people. I don't even like to call them leads because we're dealing with people, right? So if you're
Right.
talking to a new patient, new client who comes to you right now, after they have watched quite a few of your videos, how much more valuable is that conversation comparing to somebody just coming to you seeing, chiropractor Columbia MD?
Enormously more valuable. Enormously more valuable, because the people who watch those videos and connect with them and relate to it and say, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for, They already know that. Some of them have already made up their mind that they want to work with me. I don't accept everybody for care because it's not right for everybody. Not everybody's ready to do this kind of work with a practitioner. And so we evaluate that on their visit, on their first and their second visit. The people who have watched the videos already have an understanding. It's like they've already met me. I actually had a few people come in and say, it's like I already know you. And so I already have started to trust you. They don't have to meet me for the first time when they come into my office. They already know what I look like. They know what I act like. They know a lot about me. They know a little bit about what I'm doing. And it's so valuable.
Super. Thank you so much. And that I think a lot of people can relate, because now you have to explain to people who come on the inside what your value is, comparing to a scenario where somebody comes in and just say, you know what, I watch your videos, I kind of know what you do, and I feel like I'm ready, and just guide me, tell me what's the next step. I think it's a very different conversation. It also, from my perspective, I want to change the positioning of the provider. Instead of being at a position to convince and sell on your program, which is so uncomfortable for doctors. When you know your value, how do you feel trying to sell your value? You almost feel like, listen, if you don't get it, it's like, please, go find somebody else, right? If you don't want to trust me with that. But sometimes it's not the patient's fault, it's just they truly don't understand what you do. So having somebody come in, my goal in this, the long-term strategy, is to make sure that we completely shift the positioning of the provider. Somebody comes into you, they're asking for help, they kind of understand or fully understand what you do, and then they say, please guide me to the next step, tell me what you need. And now the sales process is not sales process, it's a good conversation about their health instead of a sales process.
Yes, absolutely. And the other piece of that is that a lot of people who end up in my office have been to so many other practitioners. So they are coming in with a little bit of an attitude of, I'm frustrated. I don't know whether I can trust you. I've tried to trust other people. Why are you different? And so I really respect that process of building up the trust. And I say that to people. I totally get that. We're doing things that are different and they've never seen it before. And, and even with the chiropractic adjustment, it's very personal. A lot of doctors, you go to the doctor and they don't touch you and they don't see what's really going on. They're kind of looking over your head. And then what's the next prescription they can give you, or the next test? And with the kind of care that I provide, it's very, very individualized. And so I'm listening to the patient. They feel heard. And if they don't feel heard, if there's not a connection, which happens occasionally, it doesn't happen too much, but occasionally there really isn't a connection. And I'll tell them, I don't know that I'm the right doctor for you. Or I will address it. I'll confront the situation and tell them, I understand that you've been through a lot and you don't know whether to trust me. You don't know me yet. And that your friend trusted me who referred you, and that's a good start. And we need to build up a trust. So what do you need? What do you need to know? How can I help you get there? And then part of it is just getting, having a few visits and getting to know each other and as people.
Yeah, and many providers would not say what you say, but you truly want to work with people who want to work with you, and it just feels right. It's funny because as you were saying about this situation where a patient has seen so many other doctors, has been burned so many times, and just has a hard time trusting you. It's funny because in marketing,
trusting anyone
or anyone, it's funny because in marketing, healthcare marketing is pretty much the same. All the people that are on a certain level, they had some sort of experiences with multiple different companies. Our approach is that whoever you currently have that you already like, we team up with them. We can be the extra hand, extra brain. In the case of you, Dr. Lisa, we didn't really have a solid marketing partner to team up with. You just said, "Hey, I kind of like need help with marketing." Then yes, we can take over the strategic aspect of it along with execution. But if there are some other people executing on X, Y, and Z, we just basically become other letters of the alphabet that are missing, and very happy to do that. So,
and you did that, Mike, with when I was building my website. I know, you did that with the website builder that I already knew. I knew somebody, I trusted her. You have website builders, but you were truthful with me and you said, no, go work with the one that you have. And I'm the same way. I'm a chiropractor, yes. But if one of my patients has another chiropractor, I'm not interested in interfering with that relationship. They can come to me for nutrition response testing or allergy work or whatever it is. And if they need a chiropractic adjustment, if they're happy with their chiropractor, I'm sending them back to their chiropractor. I'm not interested in interfering or taking somebody from another doctor at all.
of course. And it's all about teamwork, because
Yeah.
1 + 1, I always
That's
tell
the
people,
collaboration.
okay, as a business consultant, this will sound really bad, but I don't believe in mathematical equations always that they're right. So for example, 1 + 1 for me, it doesn't equal 2. It does not, because if you have one provider and another provider, the clinical outcomes is like 5 or 6, much more than 2, right? So 1 + 1 doesn't have to equal 2. And the same mathematical equation may not be exactly as precise as it seems on other things. The same with values. Like let's talk about time and money, because now this is mathematics. Somebody says, okay, I want to work with Polish Mike. It sounds pretty good. I'm recommended to this company. Maybe I'll give them a shot. And right now I need to invest about, I know with you, we did approximately a year. Right now we condensed it, so it's a little bit faster, bigger package at the beginning, and then we slow it down and we do some kind of a maintenance in the future. But that 6 months of content production is important. So I'm asking for a lot, actually. It's like, trust me for 6 months. Even if it's month to month, it's still, it's a commitment. So when we talk about, from your perspective, 2 considerations that other people may have is time and money. From your perspective, for both of these, do you feel like you have a reasonable amount of time that I'm asking for, that is not too crazy and not too much time? And then do you think the money is reasonable, and the ROI for both, meaning, was it worth it?
Yes to all of those.
Thank you. Okay, that's that's what we needed. Thank you so much. And for people watching, I want you to know whether you are an individual or a healthcare provider. Connect with Dr. Lisa, because who you see on the screen, in reality, she's the same and more. She's really, really awesome. I'm coming to her not only as a consultant and a marketing company and a branding company. I'm coming to her as a patient as well. When there is a need, my family, including treating my daughter, you were the one who discovered that my daughter has synesthesia. It's like, Mike, this is a real thing, right? Unbelievable person. I want you to connect with Dr. Lisa. Don't think about Polish Your Business alone. I'm doing these interviews and I call them client features, not without purpose. This is my way to also say thank you to a client who supports me with this interview. I want you to connect with her. If you're a provider, team up. Dr. Lisa also just started a few episodes of a podcast, so you may want to be a guest on her podcast.
Yes.
From the podcast, we are creating some reels, some mini videos that are serving us as teasers for the podcast. If you decide to work together, and maybe you're going to be the next person we're going to be interviewing together with Dr. Lisa, that would be super cool. Team up with her. And if you have any questions about what we do, any questions about connections that we can give you through our doctors networking group, I'm sure you can find some links in the description. I'm sure you can figure out how to find me, and just know that I'm here to support with the best intentions, and actually right now with quite a bit of resources behind the intentions to help you. Thank you, Dr. Lisa. And thank you,
Mike. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate your considering me for this interview. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness.
And for everything you do for me.
I'm so proud that you're one of my clients and very good friend.